Toto Wolff didn't make a media statement. He dropped an emotional bombshell about Hamilton. It felt like a thunderclap, a punch through the noise. And it didn't just echo through the walls of Ferrari's garage, it sent tremors through every paddock, simulator, and strategy room in Formula One. Because this wasn't routine gossip. This wasn't a vague quote from a press scrum or a coy social post. This was raw, personal, unfiltered, from the one man who's seen every layer of Hamilton's greatness and every crack in the armor. It came after what may be the lowest psychological point of Hamilton's career. Hungary wasn't just a rough weekend. It was a public unraveling, a visible implosion under the weight of expectation, failure, and the brutal pressure of wearing Ferrari red in a season that refuses to make sense. And as the silence settled in the aftermath, it wasn't Hamilton's lap times or data sheets that left people shaken. It was his words. Let's not soften it. Hungary was brutal. Hamilton didn't make it out of Q2. That alone sent ripples through the sport. And while Lewis sat eliminated, his teammate Charles Leclerc delivered one of the laps of the year to put the same car on pole. Then came Sunday, a slow, painful slide through the field. Hamilton got stuck in traffic, trapped in a DRS train, and when the flag dropped, he was a full lap down on the leaders. No points, no fight, just an empty finish that felt heavier than any result before. And then, in a moment that didn't feel like an interview, it felt like a confession, Hamilton quietly muttered words no one expected from him. I'm useless. They probably need to change driver. He didn't sound frustrated, he sounded lost, like someone not just disappointed in a race, but questioning if he still belonged at all. Then came the second gut punch. One sentence, 5 words. Hopefully I'll be back. No bravado, no reassurances, just a hollow line that flipped the F1 world inside out. Was this a retirement hint? A crisis? Fans panicked. Analysts jumped to conclusions. It wasn't just a bad weekend anymore. It felt like the early stages of a farewell. And just as the speculation started boiling, Hamilton stoked the flames himself. He posted a single cryptic teaser online, a black and white image of a matchbox, smoke, and the words, "We've struck the match. Now follow the smoke," along with a date, August 8th. That's all. No explanation, no context. Just enough to make the entire sport hold its breath. The timing wasn't subtle. After your worst race of the season, you don't drop a teaser unless you want the world to feel the heat. And it did. Theories spiraled. Was Hamilton leaving F1, returning to Mercedes, starting his own team? Had the Ferrari dream collapsed before it even had a chance? And just when it felt like everything might come undone, Toto Wolff stepped in. Not with a spin, not with a PR line, but with a message that hit with the force of a race start collision. The man who helped shape Hamilton's dynasty, who stood beside him through 6 of his 7 titles, finally spoke. And what he said wasn't designed to calm things down. It was meant to reset the entire narrative. Wolff didn't pretend Hungary was fine. He didn't sugarcoat it. Instead, he reframed it. He called Hamilton's words what they truly were. Not weakness, but honesty. He said what many forget, that Hamilton's greatest strength has never been just his pace. It's his ability to feel deeply, to speak openly, and to hold himself to a standard so high, even perfection isn't always enough. When Lewis feels like he's failed, he doesn't hide. He confronts it, and yes, he's emotional, but that emotion isn't fragility. It's the fire that's driven every comeback, every world title, every record he's ever shattered. And Toto made something else unmistakably clear. This isn't about age. It's not about hunger. It's not about some mythical decline. Hamilton, in Wolff's words, is still the greatest of all time. The GOAT. And no single weekend changes that. Because champions aren't shaken when others beat them. They're shaken when they fall short of the version of themselves they expect to be. That's the kind of standard Hamilton operates on. And Wolff knows it better than anyone. But buried in Wolff's message was something deeper. Something bigger than just Hungary. He reminded everyone of what's coming. Formula One is about to enter a new era. The 2026 regulation overhaul is looming. New engines, radically new aero, a total reset of the pecking order. And there's one man in the paddock who thrives in chaos, who rewrites the game when others cling to the past. Lewis Hamilton. Toto didn't just say he believed in Hamilton, he said the next chapter of the sport might be written by him. that Hungary wasn't a conclusion, it was a storm before the reset, and Hamilton, the master of reinvention, has unfinished business. So what's coming on August 8th? No one knows for sure, but insiders say it's almost certainly not a retirement. In fact, it might be the opposite, a new initiative, a major business pivot, an extension of Mission 44, maybe even something that blends racing, tech, and activism in a way only Hamilton can. What's certain is that the timing isn't random. After Hungary, Hamilton didn't hide. He doubled down, he lit a match, and whatever smoke we're following, it leads somewhere bold. Meanwhile, Ferrari finds itself at a crossroads. This project was always going to take time. Hamilton's arrival wasn't a plug-and-play solution, it was a culture shift. And right now, it's fragile. Every race is a referendum, every misstep is amplified, and Hungary, it didn't just raise questions, it exploded them. But then something unexpected happened. Charles Leclerc, who had every reason to stay quiet, spoke up. He defended Hamilton, called it a one-off, said he still believed in his teammate, that they could turn things around together. That wasn't just good PR, that was leadership, that was maturity, that was a teammate who understands the magnitude of the mission they're both part of. The reality is, Hamilton is struggling. He's 42 points behind Leclerc in the standings. He hasn't stepped on a podium all year. The Ferrari still doesn't feel like an extension of him. The fit isn't natural. The adaptation is slow. And for a man who's been at the top for so long, that kind of disruption cuts deep. But none of it means he's finished. In fact, this might be the beginning of the hardest and most meaningful comeback he's ever attempted. Because what Toto Wolff did with his words wasn't just defend a friend. He reminded the world what greatness really looks like. It's not clean. It's not always victorious. Sometimes it's ugly. Sometimes it hurts. But greatness is showing up when it's hard, when no one believes, when the world whispers, maybe he's done, and you lace up anyway. Hamilton is showing up. He's absorbing the blows. He's facing the doubts, the headlines, the noise. And if Ferrari can hold the line, if they can back him with real support, not just sound bites, this could still work. Because Lewis Hamilton isn't just chasing a final moment of glory, he's trying to build something. He's trying to rewrite the end of his story on his own terms, with his own voice, in his own way. And if August 8th really is the beginning of a new chapter, not the end of the book, then buckle up. Because Hamilton doesn't go quietly. When he's at his lowest, that's when he becomes the most dangerous.